Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Cruise 360 2016. And now, please welcome Vice President of Membership, Charles Sylvia, and the President and CEO of CLIA, Cindy Deoust.
Pick me up.
Hey everybody.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to everyone to CLIA's 12th annual Cruise 360 conference in Vancouver, British Columbia. Truly one of the most spectacular cities in the world.
I have to agree. I told Ty I was going to go out here and probably get myself in trouble, but I have to go on record in saying Vancouver is one of my favorite destinations in the whole world. It is so beautiful, and thank you for the great weather today. So over the next 6 days, we promise to deliver a truly panoramic view of our ever-changing industry. And talk about panoramic, how about our screen up here? Pretty exciting, huh? There's not a bad seat in the house today. So over the next several days, you're going to have access to industry leaders, you're going to network with your peers, learn the latest about cruising, and explore cruise ships. So Cruise 360 promises to deliver an educational, a memorable, and I think most importantly, a fun experience for you. So we're so glad you're here.
By being here today, you're demonstrating that you're investing in yourself. And it probably won't surprise anyone to know that research shows that travel agents who educate themselves continually about the industry provide the greatest value to their customers. And they're also the most successful. This is value that customers cannot find on their own. And Cruise 360 is here to provide you with the tools necessary to succeed so that you can grow your business once you return home. You'll notice that this year, we've themed each day's general session. And the daily content was defined by our themes and was designed especially for you. Please take advantage of all Cruise 360 has to offer so that when you return, we can help you grow your business and sell more cruises.
So I'd also like to welcome our viewers at home. This year, all three of our general sessions are going to be viewed via the internet, thanks to our live stream presenting partners, Crystal Cruises and Panat Yacht Cruises and Expeditions. So thanks to them. Now, of course, we know that Cruise 360 offers far more than the content that's delivered at general sessions. It's only a small part of what you're going to experience when you're here with us in Vancouver. But for those of you that are not with us, we're very, very excited to be able to provide the general session content out to our broader community.
We'd also like to recognize the beautiful destination and thank the city of Vancouver for its hospitality and for everything that it's done to help make Cruise 360 a success. To tell us a little bit more about Vancouver, please join me in welcoming the President and CEO of Tourism Vancouver, Ty Spear.
Thank you, Charlie and Cindy, and Cindy, thanks in particular for that little commercial that you threw in, which we're grateful for. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Ty Spear. I'm the President and Chief Executive Officer, and I have the privilege of serving on behalf of Tourism Vancouver in our great city. I know a few of you have been here and have had the chance to experience a little bit of Vancouver, but before we move on, let us show you just a little bit more. Can we please roll the tape? Thanks so much. I always find that being such a visual city, that really gets the juices going when we're able to show pictures, especially on such a fantastic screen. So on behalf of our organization, Tourism Vancouver, the Port of Vancouver, Vancouver International Airport, Destination British Columbia, all of our cruise line partners and the Pacific Rim Cruise Association, let me offer a formal welcome on behalf of our city. Thank you for joining us here, and let me also offer my congratulations and thanks to Cindy and her team for once again choosing to bring your event, Cruise360, to Vancouver. And let me say a personal thanks to all of you. As Charlie mentioned, you're investing your time in both our industry and our city. We appreciate very much everything that you do to support the cruise industry, which is a vital piece of why tourism is so important to the city of Vancouver. So on behalf of the city and all of our partners, thank you for everything that you do and have done and will do on behalf of cruising for Vancouver. We're pretty proud of our city, as you might have noticed, and Vancouver continues to be recognized around the world as having a wonderful quality of life, great food, amazing attractions and events, and we hope a very, very welcoming environment to go with the natural urban and outdoor beauty that we possess. And you might wonder, why is this guy standing on stage talking about how great it is in the city when we're here to sell and market and understand how to deliver even better cruising experiences? And to us, it's very, very simple. We want to be part of what is an end-to-end first-class travel experience for customers. And to do that, we have to have great partners, and that's why I stand here representing the partners that you saw on the screen a moment ago. The Port of Vancouver, the leading home port for cruising to Alaska, and the only home port that allows customers to travel through the Inside Passage on either a one-way or a round-trip basis. A leader in so many ways, but just to pick out one in terms of how they value and protect our city, their shoreline power saves our city over 2,000 tons of greenhouse gases every year. So they're a leader both in the service they provide and how they respect our environment. We have a leading partner delivering a great experience through YVR, our international airport, which I trust many of you had the opportunity to appreciate and enjoy as you came into Vancouver. Now recognized for the 7th year in a row by Skytrax as the best airport in North America, which is fantastic. So congratulations again to our partners at YVR. 56 different airlines servicing 118 nonstop destinations, and really YVR is on their way to becoming the hub for trans-Pacific travel out of North America, and they are really a world leader. And if you didn't notice it on the way through, they're quite a terrific art gallery in their own right, so they've invested in a different and unique way in delivering a fantastic consumer experience. They're also wonderful in the way that they connect into the city, so whether you're moving people through the SkyTrain directly from Canada Place right into Waterfront Station just a few hundred meters down the road, or moving bags seamlessly from the airport straight to the ships that are in port, they partner well with our port to make sure that they're supporting that world-class customer experience that is so vital to what we need to do. Of course, our partners in the cruise industry, the cruise lines themselves, we are blessed to have a group of best-in-breed brands. You all know them so well, but everybody from Royal Caribbean to Holland to others, we have absolutely the best servicing this part of the world and delivering that Alaskan experience, and we are really, really thrilled and privileged to have them as part of our tourism family. But of course, it doesn't stop when you get off the boat, nor does it stop when you leave Vancouver. We are part of one of the most exciting travel regions in the world in British Columbia. Whether you drive 2 hours up the road on one of the most scenic drives you can do to Whistler, which you may know is a ski destination, let me assure you it is a year-round exciting travel destination in its own right. And we would encourage you to think about that in terms of any conversations you have with customers that want to extend. Or the Okanagan, our wonderful wine region, where you can sample the great wines of BC, enjoy time on the lakes and the mountains, have a wonderful round of golf. Or if you want to go just a short plane ride or ferry ride away, you can find yourself in Victoria, the provincial capital. A totally different feel to Vancouver, but a wonderful place to visit, a home to the world-class Butch Art Garden. So we have a wide range of things that we believe delivers that end-to-end first-class experience from arrival at the airport through to the port, the services of the port in the great city of Vancouver, and of course, the amazing Alaskan cruise experience. So the end-to-end customer journey is what we're all about. We know you're here to focus on learning more and different ways about where your industry is going. Can we also ask and encourage you to take advantage of the opportunity to explore and enjoy our great city? It is a city for people to experience. We're here to help that experience in any way that we can. We want to thank you for being here. we want to wish you a very, very successful Cruise 360. And if there's anything that Tourism Vancouver or any of our partners can do to make your experience better, please do let us know. Thank you again, and enjoy your conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the stage Cindy Diaus.
Thank you, Ty. As we said, we're so pleased to be here. You know, I was chatting on the back of the stage, and one of the folks asked me, when you're in a beautiful destination like this, do you get some extra time to visit? And you all know we so rarely do. That's the biggest miss, and you see this amazing destination that we're missing. So hopefully you all will take some time over the next couple of days. We've allotted some time in the schedule to make sure that you can see Vancouver. To kick us off today, I thought it might be helpful to take just a minute and do a brief update on the state of CLIA. It's very, very hard for me to remember and believe that it was only 15 months ago that I was standing on the stage at my first Cruise 360, and I barely had 90 days under my belt at CLIA. So here we are 15 months later, and this time I stand before you with the distinct privilege and honor of being the CEO and president for CLIA. And I couldn't be more proud of that. But I also recognize that this new title brings new responsibility. So as I look back over the last year, I would define it as a year of learning. Certainly for me, I needed to understand CLIA and what we offer. I got the opportunity to go around the world and meet so many of our members from all different walks of life, roles, our executive partners, our travel agents, our agency leaders, our cruise line leaders. So it's been amazing. The more I learned, honestly, the more excited I was to be part of this just amazingly growing industry. But at the same time, I have to honestly recognize that we've had some challenges. But hopefully we're using the learning experience for those challenges, and we're going to get better. More than anything, I think what I want to share is that I've been reminded that if we're going to succeed at CLIA as a member-driven organization, we must be great listeners. So what I commit to you is that moving forward, you will see more opportunities to provide input and feedback. And we will do our very, very best, not only to listen, but actually to implement your suggestions. The year, as I said, was also filled with many successes. But rather than tell you about them, I thought we could take just a minute and look at a short video that we call CLIA 2015, A Year in Review. I think once you see it, you'll agree it does a great job of summarizing the many accomplishments that we had around the world.
Together and with one voice, CLIA has led the cruise industry through a year of tremendous success, all as we celebrated our 40th year. Business partnerships were built and flourished as CLIA transitioned to a global executive partner program.
Has so much power as a group to really explain what this industry is all about, to make people understand just what an impact we have and how great an industry this really is.
This collaboration resulted in a global economic contribution of $119.9 billion in 2014.
Having an association that has a true global perspective, that is connected around the world to help guide and establish best practices, sound practices, as well as to help grow this industry is very appropriate.
One of the nice things about being in this industry is just what an impact we make, and for the good. The economic impact is overwhelming. Our safety record is unparalleled as an industry. Our environmental record is good, and we keep getting better.
Together, we advocated for solutions to keep our industry strong.
We've done an amazing job to make CLIA global, a proper globalization effort. And now finally we can act local. So we can represent locally to the various legal stakeholders, to the various governments and nations where we represent CLIA.
Governments from all over the world look at cruising as a high growth potential to bring development in their economies.
Our global travel agent community grew with 20,000 global travel agency members and 30,000 agent members.
Consumers have choices today more than ever on how to book their vacations. It's great to see that travel agents still are predominantly their favorite go-to channel.
This year, educational offerings for travel agents included the addition of CLIA Cruise TV, a travel agent newsletter, new online training tools, and Cruise 360 in 3 regions around the world.
travel agents and travel professionals need to understand our business because we have changed. And the more we change, the more education is necessary.
Globally, demand for cruise travel was created and consumers were reached with positive messages. These efforts contributed to a record 23 million passengers in 2015. The CLIA Asia Trend Study put China in the spotlight, resulting in more than 1,500 media clips.
Well, the Chinese love their cruises just like everybody else in the world, it seems, and their growth rate is the fastest in the entire world of cruising at the moment.
We made a splash with National Plan a Cruise Month.
A record 23 million people expected to cruise this year alone.
October is National Plan a Cruise Month.
National Plan a Cruise Month.
The cruise industry has come together to really get everybody to fall in love with cruising.
There is a cruise for everybody.
No matter where you'd like to go in the world, but a cruise ship can get you there.
CLIA partnered with the industry to get people to fall in love with cruising around the world.
Giving back to a community is both a responsibility, a privilege, and something that we absolutely look forward to doing.
The Cruise Industry Charitable Foundation is committed to improve the quality of life in communities served by the cruise industry. Mercy Ships, which operates floating hospitals that serve some of the poorest developing nations in the world, was recognized by CLIA as a charity of choice.
There's simply no question that CLIA and the cruise industry are going to become ever more global. The whole world is catching on to cruising, and that's why we've been able to go from 1.5 million people around the time that CLIA started who were cruising to 23 million today.
Together, we are one voice, advancing the industry towards a bright future.
You know, sometimes it's just good to look back. You know you're tired, you know you had a busy year, but sometimes it's really helpful just to see what took place in the industry. So as we look forward, I've worked with the leadership within CLIA, and we've developed what we believe are 3 important pillars to use as the foundation for all the strategic decisions that we make. And I'd like to share them with you because I hope they make a lot of sense to you. The first one is act local, and actually Pier Francesco Vago mentioned it in his quick clip. What I mean by that is creating a global infrastructure so that both our members and our team can share content and best practices around the world, but ensure that there's enough flexibility that we can execute at that local level with the local expertise. The second, and you'll hear me talk about this a lot, and that is really unifying the industry. We need to live into our mantra of one industry, one voice. CLIA is committed to bringing the industry together to create a stronger voice, greater influence, and to deliver greater value to our members. And often that's done by forming strategic partnerships. In fact, a great example of that's going to come up in September, where for the first time ever, CLIA has partnered with our sister association, the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association, to put together a travel agent destination summit hosted by Puerto Rico. Charlie will tell you more as we go into the conference about it, but that's a great example of where we're able to work with another association and deliver a new event focused on our members. So now that I've given you some updates from the CLIA side, let's take a look at what's happening at an industry level. Oh, I got ahead of myself, as I do sometimes. So my cheater here reminded me that I didn't go through my third pillar. My third pillar is the most important as well, and that is to make sure that what we're doing enhances member value. We need to stay focused on our founding mission, and that is to help our members succeed. So as I said before, we'll listen more. We're going to continue to focus on enhancing our travel agent program based on your feedback in ways that are meaningful to you. So now that we've talked about the CLIA updates, now let's look at the industry. So just today, we're going to be releasing some pretty exciting news. You heard Adam mention on the clip that we had 23 million cruisers in 2015. Well, actually, we surpassed our projections in 2015, and therefore we've increased the passenger projections for 2016. We believe there will be more than 24 million cruise passengers in 2016, which is certainly a sign that our industry is stronger than ever before. But what's interesting, with all that success, we're still only 2% of the total travel market. Now, there are many factors that contribute to the ongoing success of the industry, and most of them are sitting in this room. You are the greatest factor, the greatest asset that we have. You educate and motivate travelers to take a cruising experience. Additionally, our cruise leaders continue to invest in new products. They work tirelessly to design and to deliver innovation and new ships at a rapid pace. So we've talked about how much growth we've seen, but as I said, there is a potential for so much more. In the US and Canada, I'm happy to say that cruise vacations are outpacing land-based travel. But when we look at that whole travel industry, I said earlier, cruising represents only 2% of all leisure travel. And that's interesting because we have the highest satisfaction rates amongst global travelers. So it's clear to see that our opportunities are endless. It's also important to note that globalization is playing a large part in the role of our success. Today, we've introduced cruising around the world, and so people that live in domestic destinations are experiencing cruising from international destinations and ports all around the world. But let's not forget, cruising is a serious industry, and we contribute $120 billion to the global economy. That's something we should all be very proud of. Our impact is clear, and we've done this together. But as we continue to grow and establish a bigger footprint globally, it's important that we do find ways to give back and do so on a global scale. That's why we were so proud at CLIA to announce in 2015 that we had selected Mercy Ships as our charity of choice. You saw them briefly in the clip. Through this partnership, CLIA supports the organization's commitment to deliver healthcare and surgical intervention to people in developing countries. Earlier this year, I had the opportunity to visit Madagascar and spend a week with these volunteers and see firsthand the work they're doing and the impact they make. Whenever I talk of this, honestly, I get very moved because quite simply, it was one of the most unforgettable experiences of my life. But rather than me try to explain that to you, again, we've got a short clip, and I'd like to share it with you, and it really demonstrates the impact of our partnership.
Mercy Ships is a unique organisation because it is bringing services to countries that would otherwise never be able to access those services.
People say to me, well, there's all these millions. How do you think you can change that? We can change the individuals one life at a time.
We just see people that need help. You realise that they have no way of getting help. And I want them to know that they're loved.
After the rejection and the ridicule and the hard lives that they've had up until this point, then to have a ward full of nurses and the other ship staff, people just pour out so much love on them. Love does make a difference.
Bringing this hospital ship in, it's a state-of-the-art platform. Surgeons, nurses, professionals from all over the world, offering this free of charge at the highest standards is unique.
We're working hard here to leave a legacy of improved healthcare.
It's so easy to forget how privileged we are at home. Here, people do their job with so much less.
If you ask any of the nurses or any of the doctors that we work with, they became nurses and they became doctors because they want to help people. And the biggest frustration that they have is that they can't. They don't have the equipment, they don't have the materials, they don't have the expertise to be able to really help the people that are in front of them that are hurting. Our goal is to come alongside them to help them serve their own people better.
I think there's the potential for really changing things here. It's a really, really good thing to be involved with.
It's pretty moving. You know, it was amazing to me to see the work that the doctors, the nurses, and all the healthcare volunteers do. But what was even more amazing to me, that's completely volunteer driven. People receive no money for their work. They volunteer their time, but they actually pay to be there. They go out and find sponsorship and supporters so they can be there. And there are people, the one physician that was on there has been there for 30 years, worked on the ship for 30 years. It's amazing. So clearly this is an example of how cruising can give back. Together with your help, we have been able to move the industry forward, and we hope that you'll also help us in supporting the amazing effort that's being done by Mercy Ships. So the easiest way, if you're interested in making a contribution, is found right in your registration bag. On the back of the Mercy Ships brochure, you'll find instructions on how to make a donation and information on where to send it. We also will have additional brochures at our registration and at the back of the ballrooms every day. So I will thank you in advance for your generosity.